Florian Wirtz.
Yeah.
4 goals in his last 6 appearances, I think.
Yep.
And a few assists in there as well. I think he was supposed to be playing on the right side of the forward line. Basically, wasn't there. And to be honest, which sort of brings me back to another thing with Slot. I don't really want to talk about Slot now, but it does make me think. They don't really know who was on that right hand side, because at some points there didn't seem to be anyone there. It was just generally Frimpong coming up.
Yeah.
But I don't want to railroad what I'm trying to say here, which is that starting to look like the player Liverpool thought they were getting for £116 million. And surely he's going to be extremely key player going into this second half of the season for Liverpool.
Yeah, I think he's looked at it for a short while now. I mean,
it's the start of December.
Yeah. So you've been, Liverpool are on this glorious 12-match unbeaten run, and I would say he's been comfortably the best player of those 12 games. I think he's been central to a lot of things they do. He's got his goals now, which I think is making a lot more people sort of sit up and take notice. But he was playing well regardless of them. And I get it, you spend the money that you spend on him, you want more. You're expecting at least perhaps double the amount, more than that he would have scored by now. But he's lovely to watch, isn't he? He's such a good player, and the moment that in the second half when ends with Gakpo having the shot cleared off the line, that'd have been brilliant. The way he faced up about 3 or 4 of them and he was gone, wasn't he? And
yeah, whilst you were bubbling away on the hot tub, Theo.
Lovely bit of skill from Florian Wirtz, and it ended with Gakpo.
Was that the first half or the second half?
Second half.
I was not top at that point. In the first half, I was gone on a walk.
You've been... Oh, well, yeah.
Okay, nice. Afterwards.
Clear the head. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm just describing it for Theo. Basically, it's lovely. Yeah, lovely little bit of play. Pulls it back. Gakpo's not done much wrong as he's put it on target. You think it's in, but it's cleared off the line. And I think that's another one of those moments that had it have gone in, you'd have definitely seen it, and it would have been seen. And everyone would have gone, "Whoa, that was good,"
And it lifted the cup.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and he was central in a lot of those things, wasn't he? He's a great player, but you just left wondering, what would he be like if the team was purring and everyone was on form around him? Because I think you'd be talking about a really special player. Look, he might be another one that maybe we're here in a year's time, and he's on 15 goals already, and he's looking at home in a new look again, Liverpool team.
I thought you were selling him in a year's time. It's not going to get any better, and it's going to call it quits after 18 months.
No, he's the one. He's the shining light at the minute, isn't he? And you keep him in the side. And in terms of the position, I like seeing him coming from that left. It looks like he can create a little bit more damage from there. He looks like he opens up the pitch, and he's got what you want. And what they tried to do when they started the season is to get attacking players around him, players he can hit. Almost like 3 attackers ahead of him. That ended up unbalanced at a lot of things, and it created a bit of a mess, didn't it? So a lot of that, I think, is Slot going back to sort of safety first, has been trying to undo some of those mistakes maybe that were made at the start of the season when things were a bit unbalanced. So, but whatever the issues, you find a place for him in the team at the moment. And what I like as well is he just looks that bit more robust than he did. Perhaps in those first few months, he's looking stronger, fitter. You can see it in him almost. He looks a lot fitter and leaner, and he's someone that whatever happens between now and the end of the season, he's going to have a big say in it, I think.
My issue with it is he's in basically a different position every game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So was he at the right this weekend? Game before he was the false 9, wasn't he, against Arsenal?
Yeah.
Then you've seen him on the left. You've seen him at number 10. It's like, what? He's got some rhythm, he's got some consistency, he's performing, but it's harder for him to get those relationships up with the players around him. Like we've seen Milos Kerker's fine form, and a big part of that was because they had a few games together with that's ahead of him on the left wing. And while he's kept up the form, Kerker's is still changing it week after week, going, how can we get everyone in this side? And it's like, we still want something that gets the rhythm there. And it's probably going to change again, if not against Marseille, against Bournemouth, when you try and shoehorn Salah back into it. So it's just like, Slot's not making it up as he goes along, but there is no clear vision for how it's going to work moving forward. And if you've got to compensate for Salah not working as hard defensively, that's another complication to it all as well. Whereas I just want to see Wirtz freed up behind Ekitike, because when they've been free to link up, it's so good to watch. There are the few positive moments in these games, like we've seen the goals, where it was against Wolves, where Ekitike runs down the left, plays it through to him, gets his first Premier League goal. The 2 against Barnsley, granted it's League One opposition, but the glimpses have been there. You just want to see it more across a consistent run. And while that is 90 minutes, they need a run of games in those positions. And just so you can see a fluid Liverpool attack, everyone knows where they are, what they're meant to be doing. That's going to make it so much easier to break down any defence in front of them because they've got a bit of consistency there. And that's part of the reason why they won the league last year, because these were players that had been in those positions month after month, season after season. They knew their jobs inside out, even if it had come under Jurgen Klopp rather than Arne Slot. Whereas now it's starting from scratch, and it's so hard for him to get that consistency when it's something completely new each week.
Yeah, I can scrub off my next question because you've just answered it comprehensively, to be honest with you. Excuse me. That is the whole crux of the matter, isn't it? We've spent £160 million on a star player and asked him to play as a utility player. He's playing all kinds of different positions. Just play him. Why can't we just play him as a number 10 behind the striker? That's what we've signed him for. That we saw glimpses on Saturday of a player who was probably the only one who was able to try and express themselves properly, and people enjoy watching it, and we need to see more of that. So I'm in full agreement with you. And another thing that slightly baffles me is that for a team that, as you said, Mark, only a small amount of players are trusted to play, yet it's never the same team, if you know what I mean. It's the same group of players, but quite often playing different roles.
Yeah, because he likes that about the players, doesn't he? And again, it feels like that's gone a bit too far. He almost likes the fact that Dominic Szoboszlai can play 5 different positions and will do in the same game. Yeah. And and it's like that's become a really valued, and it's the same with Wirtz as well. It's become a really valued thing. And I can see a world where that does work when everything's ticking and everything's working well. And if you think about it, it requires a lot from the player itself. Themselves, who has to constantly reevaluate where they are on the pitch, the relationships with different players. And I think you can do that when you're playing well and when you're winning. But when you're not, and when you're struggling, and everyone's looking around the pitch and not especially liking the look of each other because they're all up in arms about different things, I think that is tough. And it's it has been difficult for Wirtz, but I think he's done it well. And he's, you can just tell he's an excellent footballer. And as I say, my sort of thing with him is he just needs better. He needs better form around him. He needs better quality around him. He needs better than what they're showing. He more than anyone, I know Ian Doyle wrote it in his piece, that he more than anyone was let down by his teammates, because you saw it when Burnley scored. He was throwing his arms up in the air, almost to say, like, what's going on there? They were in complete control of that game, and he was dictating it. And then all of a sudden it's 1-1, and everyone's looking around them going, oh, here we go again. And he should feel let down by that. But he's whatever the way out of this is, I think it involves him quite heavily.
This is the Blood Red podcast from the Liverpool Echo, giving you the inside track on all the big talking points from Anfield.